Welcome to the Self-Care 101 podcast with your host, straight-talking life coach, Puja McClymont. This show provides simple self-development, supporting you to embody your self-worth so that you can live the happier, more fulfilled life that you deserve without burning out. Thank you so much for listening today. Hello, it's season 2, episode 29. Do you think that people are born with a winning mindset? Some people probably are. Many of us actually could have had a winning mindset from day one, but life happened, our parents happened, our teachers happened, and then the big bad world happened and we lost our way. We went from living with extraordinary visions of our lives to working and paying the bills and buying an endless amount of stuff to try and make ourselves happy. But what if we could be winning right now without changing anything? What if we could choose to live an extraordinary life with everything we want, but actually be fulfilled and content? In this episode, I'm going to cover some of the key attributes of creating a winning mindset. You probably know most of them, but are you actually practicing them consistently? If you are, then you have a winning mindset and you are probably a very happy person. If you're not, then this show offers simple, always simple, ways that you can create a winning mindset starting today. If you love the Self-Care 101 podcast, please can you head over to Apple Podcasts, subscribe and leave me a review. This really helps other people find the show and I am eternally grateful for your support. Now on to the show. Okay, let's get straight to it. So this is the first one that I'm going to talk about. It's affirmations. Affirmations, you might call them mantras, you might call them statements, whatever you want to call them, call them. But affirmations are essentially statements that you believe to be true, and this is based on anything that you want for your life. So I have financial stability. I have the love of my life. I have all that I need in my life, whatever. Those are very different, but creating affirmations will really help you to stay focused on what you're doing on any given day. If you think about how you wake up in the morning, if you just wake up and you might journal or you might be a roll out of bed type of person, straight into work, you're not creating any space for yourself. First thing in the morning, you are given the gift of life every morning and you're not creating space for yourself to acknowledge that, to appreciate that. If you just give yourself a couple of minutes, now this is just a couple of minutes. I mean, I'm pro the morning routine and establishing a really great one, but start here, start with some affirmations. Just write down a couple of statements that you believe to be true in terms of what you want from your life, write them in the positive. And write them in the present tense, write them in very assertive language. I will be, I have, I can. It's really important to be very confident in the statements you write. Now, granted, some of your statements might seem a bit lofty. If you're currently making 50 grand a year and you say to yourself, this time next year, I will be making 200 grand, that might sound lofty to you. That might sound unbelievable. Because your perception of what you can earn, what you can make is only up to 50 grand. So in order to think about 200 grand, you've got to expand yourself further. You've got to consider what that could look like. But you have to put the possibility out there. You have to start training yourself to believe that you can attract that type of money. Affirmations can be tricky. It can be pretty tricky to write them, believe them, and commit to them, say them. Sometimes, especially when you're having a self-doubt day, a tough day, it can be hard to believe what you've written down. But if you keep repeating what you've said, essentially what you're doing is training your brain to believe what you're saying is true and fact. And then what your brain's going to do is show you opportunities that affirm the affirmation. And soon you'll see your statements becoming true, real life, tangible experiences. I don't know the magic and the science of how this all works. All I can tell you is that it works. I have personal experience of it. I know many people who swear by it as well. So if affirmations isn't in your repertoire yet, I strongly urge you to create some and really focus on creating your own. Put them in your own words. Don't just take an affirmation from somewhere else. They're harder to believe. You have to have at least an ounce of belief within your own affirmations. So have a look at trying that. Maybe just write 3 to 5 affirmations or sentences that you can read out to yourself every single day. The other thing you might want to do to really strengthen the affirmation practice is to use the 369 method of manifestation, which you can find out more about on my website, at my blog. I did a piece for the Stylist magazine, and it's got some really good step-by-step guides on how to do that. So affirmations. Now, the second one I'm going to talk about is negative visualization. I know that sounds really odd, doesn't it? Negative visualization. Why would I now, all of a sudden, when I've been banging on for almost 101 episodes about visualization, all of a sudden start talking about negative visualization? Well, let me tell you this. Negative visualization is born out of the ancient Greek philosophy of Stoicism. I don't know if anyone knows about Stoicism. It's actually really interesting. I would highly recommend reading The Daily Stoic. And negative visualization basically involves picturing yourself losing what you've got, right? So losing what you have. Now, I know that doesn't sound positive, but it's a really useful exercise. So if I give you an example, if you imagine that your car disappears, completely vanishes out of your driveway, and you're not able to replace it, you can really imagine how that would affect your life. So say if you use the car for commuting, or you use it to do your shopping, whatever you use your car for, imagine what it would be like not to have it, how it affects your life. So then the next time that you jump into your car, you'll be grateful that you have it. Now, you might be thinking, how is this a successful habit, Puja? Well, what you're doing is you begin to treat where you are in life as a gift. And so your problems start to become smaller and of small consequence, because you're going to be so grateful for all the things that are actually going right for you. Did you see where I went there? There you go. Third one is choose love. Now, I'm going to really try not to labour this point too much or go on, because I really could. Choose love. This is a really tough pill to swallow, especially when you've been hurt or you feel like you've been hurt. Two different things. But choosing love every single time, I promise you, the end result will be less stress, more calm, more peace, more happiness all around. So when should you choose love? Well, every time. Choose love with yourself. Be compassionate towards yourself. Be kind towards yourself. You're not perfect. You're not always going to be perfect. Every day is not going to be a positive rainbow unicorn sprinkled day. It's just not. It's okay. That's life. It's up and down, around and around. But if you've got goals, if you've got vision, if you've got desires and dreams that you know you want to make come true, and you want to do what it takes to get there, just choose love. Choose love. Choose love towards yourself. Choose love towards the work you're doing. Choose love towards an email you're writing. Choose love towards the person who's written you a shitty email. That's a real powerful, game-changing move. If you can respond to somebody with love in your heart. When someone gets really uppity, and you know those kind of emails where people are, I'm just circling back to that email. Ugh, I hate it when someone says circling back, but so stop using it if you're using it. Circling back. Ugh. Anyway, when somebody says something like that, and they're really shirty, aren't they? You know the tone. They're just, if you could punch them, you would. At that moment, read that email and just sit back, literally, physically sit back in your chair and consider that person, and just think from a loving place, rather than, why is she going on about this thing? She knows I can't do this, or she knows that deadline is too late. She knows, whatever it is that you're going to naturally sort of react to. Just sit back and choose love and think, God, she must be really unhappy. She must be really sad. Maybe something happened in her day today. I wonder what could have happened in her day. And then respond. You respond with love. You respond with a different energy. And then your energy basically translates into the language that you use. So the words that you use might be a bit softer than words that you might have used if you had just reacted to that email. So choose love. When you have an argument or a fight with somebody, partners usually, choose love. Just be silent. Sometimes just be silent. And in that silence, think about love. Think about love within yourself. Think about, can I respond to this person with love? Can I choose love in this moment? And think about it. And just have that silence there. They could be yapping on at you. Let them yap. And whilst they're yapping, you just think about choosing love. What choosing love does is it makes you calmer. It makes you respond in a way that is thoughtful. You consider the other person. You consider yourself. Because in choosing love, if you choose love when you respond to someone, especially something negative, what you do is you reduce the magnitude of the negativity that you could have experienced if you had reacted in a reactive way. So try to choose love. When your friends are annoying, try to choose love. When your partners don't put the rubbish out, choose love. Choose love. It benefits you the most, I promise you that. And you know what? It does have a knock-on effect. As people see you choosing love more and more, you being more and more calm, more and more kind, more and more compassionate, more and more loving, it will rub off and people will want to do it too. So everyone wins. Next one. Live with gratitude. I mean, do I even need to talk about this point? If you are an avid listener of the show, you know gratitude is king or queen, in my opinion. Gratitude. I'm going to give you an example of gratitude. Over the last month, I've been testing myself, just testing myself. I have not done anything new. I haven't been really sort of like selling myself, selling my services. I've just been kind of plodding. I think that's the best way of describing it. I've been plodding over the last month. The main reason why I've been plodding is because I've been sick for most of November. But what I've done is I've just sort of done the bare minimum of what I need to do, but I've done it well. So, for instance, the podcast, I've been really, really considered about what kind of shows I want to produce and create for the last few episodes of the year. I've really thought about how I want to bring in the new year in terms of my work. And I've done that with my blog posts. I've done that with some of my social media content as well. But I've really just left it at the bare bones of what I need to do to keep my business running and let you guys know that I exist. And it's probably been one of the best months of my year in terms of finances. It's been the best month of my year in terms of stress levels. It's been probably the best month of my year in terms of happiness and joy and contentment and peace. Bizarre. Very, very bizarre. And I honestly can tell you, hand on heart, the reason why all of that has happened is because every day since my birthday on the 16th of October, every day since then, in the morning, I have been consistently thankful. Consistently. Now, the reason why I'm saying consistently is because before I would always have my morning coffee and consider my day and things like that, check in with myself. But most times I was forgetting to say thank you. So I would be grateful, but I wouldn't say thank you. I was missing out the word thank you. So I thought to myself, hold on. I've been doing my own stuff wrong. I've been taking my own stuff for granted. Let me just do the thank yous and see where we go from there. And that was it. That's all I've done. Thank you for today. Thank you for my health. Thank you for my loves. Thank you for my family. Thank you for those that love me. Thank you for my home, my beautiful home. Thank you for my thriving business. Thank you for my thriving clients. Thank you for my financial stability. Thank you for all the abundance in my life. Thank you for selling out my retreat. Thank you for selling out my programs. Thank you for helping me help others. It's amazing how just a couple of thank yous can make such a difference. And the things that I've noticed the most have been, it's not just that I've said thank you and then I've received all those things, because actually I haven't sold out the retreat yet, but that's sort of like, I'm willing that into existence. But jokes aside, what I've noticed the most is the peacefulness within me and the confidence that started building up within me. When I'm not kind of suffocating my business and suffocating my work, I realize how much nicer life can be and how much more I can see and appreciate about the work that I do and look for ways to better myself. And I've been doing some courses and studying up, and I've just used that time really wisely. I've been reading a lot more. I've been talking to my coach a lot more. Just doing all the things that I should be doing but hadn't been doing because I was getting caught up in the doing of my work. So taking that step back has been amazing. And I honestly attribute it all to gratitude. I just feel so much more chill. You know what I've done? I've really let go of the outcome. The outcome is still important. I still need to run my business and I still need to succeed financially, but I've let go. I've stopped strangling it because I was strangling it before. I realized that I was strangling it because I so badly needed this to work. It turns out it does work. It did work. I just didn't need to strangle it. And I needed to get specific. I needed to be more specific with my gratitude. And most importantly, I needed to be consistent. So gratitude, my loves, gratitude. I promise you gratitude. All right, moving on to be solution oriented. Oh my gosh. I am such a solutions person. Coaching was made for me. Solutions. Framing's the concept of viewing things from a different perspective. And this is something that I spend so much time with my clients on, and I love doing this work. Most of us, we basically get stuck in a problem framework. So everything in our life is a problem and we don't actively search for solutions. So a successful habit would be to shift into using a solutions-based perspective. So when a problem comes up, don't complain about it, don't dwell or try to place blame. Just start thinking of solutions to that problem and work at getting things back on track. Because not only is this going to be, is it going to make you valuable in the eyes of other people, it's actually going to make you feel more capable and confident. I did this recently with a client of mine. So when you work with me, although you have bi-weekly 1-hour sessions with me, you also get unlimited contact to me with me in between those sessions. So if something arises in your life and you want to chat to someone about it, you want some support that's impartial, you can call me, message me, voice note me about it. And one of my clients was going through some stuff with work, with her business. And she was, sending me the message, which was full of emotion and her reaction and what she wanted and what she didn't want and stuff. And what I would do is I would listen back to the voice note and then respond to her in a way that helped her reframe. It's like, okay, well, what outcome do you want? How likely is it for you to get that outcome? What's your plan B? If you don't get the outcome that you want, what's your plan B? And we basically work through it like that. And luckily she's been with me long enough now so she can do the reframe. But I did a reframe directly to her because I could feel that she was exasperated and exhausted by the situation because it had been going on for weeks. And I just sent her a message that said, look, in the grand scheme of things, it was a blip in the business. It happens, just like Google crashes. The world, doesn't die. Like, Google crashes. These things happen. It's a business. Problems are going to be occurring. It was only a 24-hour problem. It wasn't more than that. And I said, everything else is fine. It's just what happens in business. It's unfortunately par of the course. This is what's going to happen now in business is different to being an employee. And I said, remember, you're launching a business in a couple of weeks' time. You've got to focus on that. Do not put energy into a mistake that was an unfortunate mistake, but that got rectified and didn't actually cause a problem. You can make it a problem now by magnifying it and talking about it over and over again, but stop talking about it. Move on. Just move to the focus of, I'm launching my business in a couple of weeks, and keep your focus there. And that was it. Game changer. She moved on. Really get into solution-oriented thinking. It will really, really help you succeed in every single area of your life. Next one is to think flexibly. Flexibly. I love this one. I really do. There's a reason why stubbornness is not considered a virtue, right? Inflexible people do not lead effective lives. Think about it. Those stubborn people who are just adamant, no, I'm not doing that. No, you can't do it that way. No, they are miserable hackers. They are. So the more flexible you are, the more you will succeed. Now, flexible is not the same as people pleasing, so do not get that twisted. You can listen to people pleasing shows in other episodes. Perfectionism will be a good one, and boundaries. This quote from Thomas Edison, I think, is probably the best way of describing what flexibility means. And I really love it, and I hope you'll write it down and take it on. If you're on my email list, you'll see it this Sunday. But here it is. It's very good. I have not failed 700 times. I have not failed once. I have succeeded in proving that those 700 ways will not work. When I have eliminated the ways that will not work, I will find the way that will work. Now, he had a very flexible way of thinking about failure. So you can use the same concept to anything that you are facing, any kind of roadblock that you're facing in your life. Because it's good practice to get into perspective of, is this an obstacle or a challenge for me to overcome? Ask yourself, is this a real obstacle that I can't get over, or is it just a challenge that I need to overcome? Next one is to be curious. Oh, if I wasn't curious, I would not be a coach. I love curiosity. Even in my marketing career, actually, my curiosity is what made me good at what I did and enjoy, every aspect of it. It's about being intensely curious. It's a massive part of success. If you look at all the most successful people today, right? And this is something you can see in people from Richard Branson to Serena Williams, you'll find that this common trait occurs in all of them. When you cultivate a curiosity mindset, it basically gets you to ask lots of questions. It helps you learn new skills whenever you can, and to search for the silver lining in failure. So you'll walk into new challenges just to see if there's some value to extract from it. You need curiosity to spot the opportunities that others won't see, and ultimately will lead you to a fulfilling life. You need curiosity to spot the opportunities that others won't see. I'm just going to leave that one there. And the last one is to be optimistic. I literally just slapped my thigh then. Be optimistic. Now, look, we can't be positive all the time. But when you take on an optimistic mindset, it is still really worthwhile, because life rewards people who delay gratification and grind away at tasks. Those hard workers, they're the ones who win in the end, because without an optimistic mindset, you're going to be giving up more easily and more often. You need to believe that the journey is going to be worthwhile, that the journey is worthwhile, and the fact that it is a journey. There's no such thing as an overnight success. There's no such thing as, becoming a millionaire overnight. You really have to be special to be an overnight success, because most overnight successes take about 10, 15 years to become overnight successes. Remember, we only ever see the end result. It takes more than just positive thinking to adopt an optimistic mindset, okay? So it involves, this is probably a really key skill that you can cultivate. Avoid excessive negativity. So I've talked about media before, but the less negative news that you can consume on a daily basis, especially in the evening, that is what's excessive negativity. Stay away from it. And people who are just whinging and just everything comes out of their mouth is negative, stay away from them. Surround yourself with other optimists. The optimists are the dreamers, but they're not just dreamers. Let me tell you, optimists are not dreamers. They are people with plans. They are people with goals. They are people who are determined. They are people who achieve everything they say they're going to achieve. You will see them achieve everything they say they're going to achieve. It may not be your version of success. It may not be your version of contentment, but it is theirs. And you must remember that when you're looking at them. When you look at an optimist and you think, yeah, right, she's going to move to Spain and live in a big, expensive villa with loads of rooms and host her retreats there and see her clients and all the rest of it. Today, you might not see it. Today, you might not believe it. But if that person has achieved everything else they said they were going to achieve, might consider giving them the benefit of the doubt. The reality is that we get one shot at life. So a great mindset is going to be an essential ingredient to a successful life. And I want you to have a successful life. These successful habits, they're going to teach you how to maintain an optimal mindset, regardless of the situation that you find yourself in. Because life is going to throw stuff at you. It is. That's why if you cultivate these brilliant personal development traits, they're going to help you rise, succeed, bounce back, so many wonderful things. If you need help cultivating a winning mindset, please book in a free 1-hour coaching conversation with me at my website right now. I have some exciting news. In June next year, I am hosting a retreat in Marrakesh. Now, it is a 6-night retreat and the theme is clarity, rest and rejuvenation. And in this retreat, we're going to do some deep connection to self-work using a number of spiritual tools, with each activity contributing to helping you uncover your deepest desires and fears that we'll then use to help you live your best life. You're going to be staying at the beautiful Peacock Pavilions under the Atlas Mountains. We'll have the venue all to ourselves. You're going to enjoy an outdoor cinema experience, a mindfulness experience at the Majorelle Gardens, a massage on property, a gentle hike with beautiful shopping in the Atlas Mountains, daily meditations, physical practices, delicious foods, and a final night of Moroccan indulgence. Think fire breathers and belly dancers. Come along. You'll find all the information at the link in the episode description. Now, there are only 10 places in total, so if this sounds like just what you need in your life, then email me today to hold your place with a deposit. You will not need to pay anything else until the new year. Thank you for listening to the Self-Care 101 podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please subscribe, rate and review over on Apple Podcasts so that other people like you can find the show. For more information about the work I do, head over to my website, PujaMcClymont.com, and for daily inspiration, please connect with me on LinkedIn or Instagram at Puja McClymont. Sending love and talk to you soon.